How's it going, YouTube? It's Panda time. In this video we have MaloMyotismon going up against LordKnightmon Jogress. So Wind is back with the Lordknight, this time trying a more blue approach with Shakomon instead of Sophimon. Also, I know there's going to be some glare on the Myotismon side's board. I definitely do apologize for that, but I think that it's going to be a good match. I definitely want to showcase these two decks, and hopefully it's not that bad. So we're going to see an early scatter mode. Scatter mode is really good for the Myotismon deck because you need to get so much stuff in the trash. There we see the first Malo, right? So you need to get 5 Myotismon in the trash, and you also want to get the Yukio in there, right? So scatter mode definitely going to be the main way to doing that. He's going to then hard play another scatter mode. I'd say it's a pretty good opener for purple, right? Like you digivolve into one, and then the second one you can just hard play it. It's okay. We see a yellow memory boost on the other side. So you can see this new Lordknight build, because you have to play blue Digimon for the Shakomon. Wind is going to be playing the Angemon, who's honestly just such a fantastic Digimon. I play him a lot for the MaloMyotismon Jogress deck, and he always puts in so much work. 6k DP, you know, great effect, good inheritable. It's just a very strong Digimon. And the Gladiemon coming out to pick up another Gladiemon from security. So early on, Myotismon had to just chill, maybe get some chip damage in and try and fill the trash as much as possible. Gonna be swinging into a fish. The fish survives. But that means he's actually gonna just digivolve into a Lady Devi. I kinda like this because like the scatter mode would likely have just gotten bounced, right? So by digivolving into Lady Devi, he's going to guarantee to get the cycle that he needs. And also have an AK on the board, right? So I actually do like this play quite a bit. And then we have the Yukio being sent to the trash and a Demi Devi being played, right? So you can see he actually has a bit of the Don Devi package as well, right? So kind of mixing in the two engines, which is pretty interesting. Gonna use the Angemon effect to heal, can then recover again. This is the classic play with the Shakomon Angemon. Can go from 3 security to 5 and bounce to level 5. So really strong play. You can see why the Shakomon is very powerful. Can then go into the Lordknight, use the Lordknight effect to summon the Digimon, use the Shakomon effect to clear, and then can start spitting out bodies from Lordknight. Ideally Gladiemons, because the Gladiemons will then let you Jogress into another Shakomon, right? So pretty solid. I think that when things go according to plan, you can see why the Lordknight deck would be pretty good. And the Angemon definitely doing a good job there, right? Like the early aggression from purple was immediately answered, right? Going from 3 to 5. So at this point, there's a good amount of stuff in the trash, right? But I don't know if he's got the 5 MaloMyotismons just yet. Call from Darkness while having no Digi on the board. And they can actually just fly bullet the Lordknight. So it does answer that stack, but it does pass over quite a bit of memory. With 5 memory, it's enough for him to potentially go into another Jogress. Maybe not go into the Lordknight right away, but definitely be setting up for it. We haven't actually seen any tamers from both players, so wouldn't surprise me if we saw a TK. Analog Boy. Gonna send another MaloMyotis to the trash, and then I believe take a regular Icemon to hand. So pretty insane swing. And there's another Myotismon. Surely by now he has the full 5, right? Okay, I do like this play. Like just because you can Jogress into the Lordknight doesn't mean that you can't do the classic Lordknight strategy, right? Like building a Lordknight in the back is still very strong. It's still gonna put in work. That's another scatter mode that swings and survives, but because it survives, he's going to use a Death Claw to clear the pulse. So this is like the main play, right? You get the Icemon, then you can digivolve Icemon into Myotismon. Myotismon can then play the Yukio. Then when they die, you get the Malo for free, right? That's the main combo. And I think that's the main reason why the Malo deck struggles in this format, is because of the Icemon restriction. I think that Icemon being restricted is very good for the game, and I'm glad that they did that. But it definitely hurts decks that needed that engine to function. And I think the biggest loser of that is the MaloMyotismon deck, sadly. Oh, he doesn't actually have the Myotismon. The Lady Devi is definitely worse there because Myotismon lets you set up the Yukio, which he does have in trash. So not having the Myotismon there hurts actually so much. Lordknight gonna swing, summon the Knightmon, -4. Gonna go into a Slash Angemon to clear the stack. Still wins turn, so can play another Digimon. Really strong, right? You can see how the Lordknight can still do Lordknight things. If that had been the Myotismon, then there could have been a Malo at the end of the turn. But that is going to actually just be game 1. Malo player has to scoop, that's going to be game. So I think that was a good game. We got to see the power of the Andromon. You know, Shakomon being a very strong Digimon. And then Lordknight still just doing Lordknight things, right? Well, you can see how Myotismon had to set up the trash. But by the time he got there, it was just like a little bit too late. And he didn't have the right Myotismon, sadly. The pancake boost being used. Gonna now start picking up the correct line. Also, you see that Wind is playing the fish. Fish is a good Digimon for Jogress, right? It's kind of like the Stingmon or the Ankylo, where like you play them and they cost 3, except the fish is just base 3 cost, so you can always just play it for 3. You don't have to get the requirements, and it can't be stopped by like Psychmon or anything like that. So it's pretty solid. We see another Lady Devi being a great way to send stuff to the trash. Can actually just be Digimon into the MaloMyotismon. This is very interesting. But I believe he does get the 1 memory back because he has -1. Excuse me. In the trash. So when you Digimon to MaloMyotismon, like you don't get too much value, but it is gonna be a beater. You know, if you have the UQ, it's gonna proc, and then he helps you mill, right? So I think it's not a bad play. I definitely do like this as a way to start off. We have Wind once again making a Lordknight in the back. Mal's gonna be swinging. Does he have a UQ is the question. Analog Youth. Send some stuff to the trash. Also, we haven't really seen the Dan Devi package put in too much work. But I could see how like you want to mill so much stuff, send stuff to the trash. And you're naturally playing like Devimons anyway, right? So maybe it makes sense. And there finally we see the Yukio. But yeah, I was gonna say like leaving the Malo suspended, it doesn't feel too great. But as soon as he plays the Yukio, now it's actually pretty powerful, right? So Lordknight can swing, summon the Gladiemon. In this case, he can only Jogress if it's Chimeramon, which I don't actually know if Wind is running Chimeramon. It might just be a Shakomon, which is interesting. But of course, Knightmon is too good. Can hard play the fish and then Jogress, yeah. So only at 4 security, the Shako goes to 5. It's not enough to bounce the MaloMyotismon, which would have been an absurd answer to it. But still, the heal is nice, the Jogress is good. Gladiemon survives in security, and he didn't opt to swing over the Malo, which is interesting too, right? But I guess going wide will ensure that the Malo can't answer the other Lordknight, and then can end the turn by going into a fresh Lordknight, so that even if the other one gets fly bullet or something, it'll be okay. However, there is their classic retaliation. We don't see the retaliation Devi being played too often, but it's there. And I believe, did he get a free Dan Devimon for that? Because that's definitely pretty good. Hits into a Tekenkari and then can Pendulum Flame to clear the Malo to clear the Lordknight. And this should let him also proc the Analog and the Yukio. So really strong stuff, right? Like we're actually seeing the Lordknight player be able to do, the MaloMyotismon player do exactly what the deck is meant to do. Yeah, he did get the free Dan Devi because it also had it on the stack, right? Gonna then go into a Sword. I mean, you have a free level 6, why not go into a Sword? And then the Sword could then summon blockers. You could summon Myotismons too, but I don't know how many Myotismons is in the trash. You definitely want to make sure you still have the 5, because at the end of Wind's turn, he is going to get the Yukio effect, which is pretty powerful, right? I think that this should win the game. I can't imagine a comeback. We saw 2 Lordknights, they both got answered. Sword is there. And yeah, this should definitely be game. So play Kotemon, get some searches. Bottom deck, all the good stuff, of course, the classic Kotemon. So at the end of the turn, the Malo gets summoned. Malo can then pop one of the Digi and trash a security, right? Which is pretty good. Unless he doesn't have the 5, which I guess he didn't have the 5, so that's kind of sad. It's still a 12k beater, which is acceptable, but yeah, not getting the effect actually sucks, right? This is like the worst part about the MaloMyotismon is that like you finally get it and then he didn't actually have it, so that is super sad. Does have extra memory from Tekenkari. The Angemon is there for potential heal, right? But Pancake Boost, I don't think it's gonna be enough. Doesn't have enough to pop and go into a Lordknight. There's too many Digimon on the other side. It's kind of funny that like he didn't even get the actual MaloMyotismon effect, right? But it still was good enough. Yeah, that's gonna be game 2. So it's a good set so far, right? Like I said, we've gotten to see both sides do their thing. You can see how both decks can succeed and how they can both struggle. The MaloMyotismon deck is cool, but it definitely just needs so much setup. Like 5 Malos doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is in the context of the game. And like, you're not playing solitaire, right? You're playing against somebody who's doing stuff, and like you just don't have that much time. But if you guys are playing MaloMyotismon, you know, let me know how you guys feel about it. Are there any cards in the EX2 set that would make the Malo deck better? Like maybe some of the mill support from the Bielsa deck? I don't know. Gonna pancake boost and take the Knightmon. I gotta say, I absolutely love the pancake boost. It is so hype. Once again, we're going right back to early scatter modes for, you know, chip damage and mill. But as we saw, it's not great against the Angemon heal. And the scatter mode doesn't die, and it could now get bounced, right? Yeah, gonna go into the fish, Jogress, the classic. And it's such a good answer too, because then he can also answer the rookie right away, right? So it's essentially a full board clear, but because it's a bounce, it's going to deny the scatter mode on deletion effects. Choose to bounce the rookie, which is just incorrect. That's just factually wrong. I don't see a world in which that is better. Gonna Blinding Ray to go into the Lordknight. Right, Lordknight would be pretty sick right about now. So the Shakamon could swing, and then you can use the Angemon effect to clear the rookie. I think that's good enough. In this case, I'm actually watching the match on the sideline, and so Wind is like, oh, I'm gonna Lordknight, boom, like a Blinding Ray, Lordknight, win the game. Turns out Wind did not have a Lordknight. Kind of got ahead of themselves there. So gonna just swing at the scatter mode and actually give him the discard effect, which is definitely, like I said, a misplay. There is the regular Icemon, which is good. Can get someone from the trash. And like, I think the best play that we just haven't been able to see from the MaloMyotismon player is the level 4 into the actual Myotismon, the new one. That card is so good. It has a good effect, a good inheritable, it's AK. It's actually so strong. But I guess he just hasn't had it the entire time, which is so sad. Because he needs to be able to set up those UQs, right? Like, you have to set up your trash and also make sure the UQ is being set. So, the free Icemon is there, but definitely feels like it's pretty behind. The scatter mode not that insecurity hurts a lot. Gonna just fly bullet the Shakamon, not even the Lordknight. Yeah, not having the Myotismon there, just actually so painful. Gonna Digivolve into the Angemon. Again, as you've seen, the Angemon has put in so much work this entire set. I think if you're playing any sort of yellow deck, you should definitely consider it. It's just such a strong card. Gonna do the combo again, going to the fish, Angemon effect, recover first, it's the correct way to do it. Then draw for Digivolving, heal again, bounce the Icemon. Now bouncing the Icemon is not the worst for Malo because like it's an Icemon, you can just discard and play it again. And there's the Myotismon that we were looking for. Gonna then go into a TK. There's the Lordknight. Finally is gonna have the guaranteed Lordknight. Gonna have a guaranteed memory for it as well. So like we've seen quite a bit of turns, right? And like all this chip damage that the Myotismon is getting, like it's just not, it's not amounting to much because so much heal coming out from the Angemon and the Shakamon combined, right? It's kind of cool if you think about it. Like you're a Lordknight deck that has so much recovery. And like surely the trash is being filled out, but we've yet to see a single Yukio. Getting those Myotismons into trash, slowly but surely. But at this point you have to wonder, is it too little too late? And again, you know the Lordknight is guaranteed next turn. Gonna Digivolve into the actual Malo. There's the Yukio in the trash, finally. Still has to find a way to play it from the trash though is the thing, right? Like if you see all the Myotismon in the trash, like you need that one to play it from the trash. If you don't have that, then it's just gonna be stuck in the trash. And I don't think he just doesn't have one in hand, right? Like this is the point where, okay, if you had the Yukio set up, it would actually be pretty sick, right? Because then you'd feel a lot safer, you'd have power plays. But without the Yukio, it just kind of hurts. So the Lordknight is there. We also see the Salamon. Salamon hasn't come up too much in this set, but it is definitely very good. Fly bullet on the Lordknight, not bad, right? Gonna be playing a Gladiemon, taking yet another Lordknight from the security. Does pass over quite a bit of memory, but I don't think they're too scared of anything, right? Like it's just a Malo who's just a beater. 4 security left for Wind. Is there a Yukio? Yukio play is still good enough, right? Like if you have it from hand, you can just play it, but he just might not. Maybe there's one security at the bottom of the deck. Swings into a Pancake Boost. That definitely hurts. Not what you want to see, especially when you're already passing over like guaranteed memory. Gonna Death Claw. So Death Claw, and then because of the Lady Devi Inheritable, it lets him clear both the right? The champion and the rookie, which is pretty good, actually a really good answer. I think he forgot to pay for the Death Claw memory though, right? Because he was a 4, paid 3 for the rookie and then 1 for Death Claw, should have been at 0. So that's actually quite a big misplay from both players. Definitely always double check your memory. And I'm gonna use the Pendulum to just clear the Knightmon because, you know, he knows that the Lordknight is there for next turn. However, like that would be insane if he had the Yukio and then you'd have a guaranteed Malo next turn, right? Like you can see how the deck is supposed to work and how it would be very strong. But even after all this time, he was not able to set up a Yukio, sadly. We know the Lordknight is in hand, so yeah, this could be a good turn to just set up the Lordknight in the back, guaranteed it's there for next turn. There might still be like Bushi Agumon or something, or could just even take us a little close at the game. We go into another Lady Devi. Like the Lady Devis are great, but you really need to Digivolve into the MaloMyotismon, right? Like it actually hurts that he hasn't been able to do that. Because once again, this should be MaloMyotismon, some of the Yukio, right? But just not having those hurts. Hits into another TK, but that means that now he's gonna be passing over the TK and Kari memory for sure, which is gonna hurt. Gonna take a Shaco from the security, going to a Dan Devi. That's gonna be quite a bit of memory though for the TK and Kari. And we know, again, the Lordknight is there. The Dan Devi, like while annoying, I think at this point in this late game, like you have so many cards in your hand that like discarding 2 cards doesn't actually hurt you too bad. And it's once again just a stack that's not being turned into a free MaloMyotismon, which hurts, right? But obviously, I mean, if you don't have the Yukio, you just can't do anything. And he kept milling the MaloMyotismon that gives it to you, so it kind of hurts. So he does have to discard 2 cards from hand. Malo gets his, Dan gets like Undeletion, draw a discard or whatever. But at this point, I think the MaloMyotismon player is just too far behind, right? Lordknight is still there. 2 bodies on the board, bunch of memory to work with. Analog is cute, but I think that's all it is. Baldur discarded, so you can see that this Lordknight build is playing at least 1 Baldur. There's the Yukio insecurity. Oh, that's so sad, right? That's actually so sad. It's just so late. Gonna play a fish to memory choke at 1. And at this point, there's no way for Malo to come back. I hope you guys enjoyed this set though. I definitely wanted to showcase some more exciting decks. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.